A long-lost document recounts the exploits of a powerful and royal people woven into the intricate web of history with the tales of thriving and fading civilizations. As the sun goes down over the vast savannas of Africa, legends of powerful rulers and stunning queens with deep, rich complexions begin to take shape. Hidden within the pages of the ancient book known as the Bible are the mysteries of these stories. Join us as we embark on a historical cinematic journey to unearth the tales that the rest of the world has long since forgotten about, buried beneath the African sands. Make sure you subscribe and enable notifications before we get into the main content so you won't miss any of our future videos. Stay tuned for an abundance of thrilling information on its way to you. We can finally set sail on this amazing adventure and learn the truth about our African and Black ancestry now. All people in the modern world may trace their ancestry back to Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the three sons of Noah, as stated in the Bible. Those of African descent or darker complexions can be linked to the family tree of Ham, a son of Noah. Shem, one of Ham's brothers, stands in for the Semitic people, Arabs, Jews, Syrians, etc. And Japheth represents the Japhethites, which also include Europeans and Asians. According to biblical accounts, Africans and Black people trace their ancestry back to Ham, the son of Noah. The Book of Psalms establishes a connection between him and the ancient Egyptians, and his name is invariably linked with Africa. Notably, Ham is also said to have had African heritage in ancient Jewish and other faiths. Every time we hear of Ham's children, we immediately think of places and people in Africa. The ancient Hebrew, Aramaic, and other languages had the connotation of burned or dark when referring to the color of his hair and skin, making the name Ham even more significant. The genealogy of the Hamitic people, or Ham, may be found in the book of Genesis, chapter 10, lines 6-14. This book lists the descendants of Ham, including Cush, the father of several Africans, Mizraim, the father of the ancient Egyptians, Put, often spelled Phut, and Canaan, the father of the Canaanites, all of whom are sons of Ham. Canaan is a noun that can mean either a location or a person. Additionally, the Ethiopians are one of many nations and peoples descended from Cush, Ham's eldest son. People from Ethiopia and Nubia, formerly the Kingdom of Cush, had a common ancestor. All of these major nations and peoples have a common heritage that begins in Cush. Note that the Samaritans are said to have come from ancient Babylon and to have been descendants of Nimrod, the disobedient son of Cush. Furthermore, Cushite ancestry is thought to be present in South Indians and in populations from all over Africa, including Malians, Eritreans, Kenyans, Congolese, and Gabonese Bantus. Cush means Ethiopia or black in its original language and is commonly used in biblical contexts to describe Ethiopia, Sudan, and Africa throughout. Ham also had two sons named Canaan and Mizraim. Many North Africans, like the Tuaregs and Berbers, who have dark complexions, trace their lineage back to Mizraim, who is also thought to have been the ancestor of the ancient Egyptians. Egypt is called Mizraim by Semitic peoples, such as the Arameans, Arabs, and Israelites. The firstborn sons of Egypt, who were the first to reach adulthood, were stricken in the tents of Ham by God. Psalm 78:51. Put, or Phut, was the name of Ham's son, who was born after Mizraim. The African clan hunter people use the word Put, which means landmark, in its original form. The Black Libyans and many other African people look up to Put as their father. Many have misunderstood the story in Genesis 9 in relation to the notorious curse of Canaan or Ham. The Bible describes how Noah's son Ham turned his back on his drunken father and made fun of him in front of his brothers when he was nude and inebriated. But there are other ways of looking at this text, and it isn't the main storyline element either. Noah cursed Canaan, who was one of Ham's sons. Although Noah's deeds may appear extreme, it was a serious offense. nearly a religious obligation, to disdain one's father during that era. Noah seems to have become drunk by mistake when he discovered wine made from grapes, which had never been done before. He was unaware that he was drunk. God spared him punishment because of this. You must know that many people believe that Ham and his 3 other children, Cush, Mizraim, and Put, are the ancestors of different black and African populations. These people are linked to the ancient Egyptians, Ethiopians, and other African nations in the Bible's genealogical records. Because they reflect long-gone worldviews, these stories must be read in light of their cultural and historical background. It should be noted that when trying to comprehend the past and origins of black and African peoples, the Bible is not the only historical or anthropological source. In order to unravel the intricate web of human history, researchers and scholars use a broad variety of sources, such as genetics, oral traditions, languages, and archaeology. To acquire a more complex picture of the beginnings, migrations, and cultural advancements of black and African peoples, it is essential to participate in continuous research and discussion as our awareness of the past keeps growing. I can't stress enough how wrong it is to read the Bible in a way that makes it seem like God cursed Africans. It is not all Africans that are cursed in the Bible. Rather, it is Canaan, grandson of Ham. People in Africa and southern India trace their lineage back to Ham, who was born before the flood and had an exceptionally long life expectancy. The chance to see his family's 5th and 6th generations pass by was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. It is worth noting that Ham, like his brother Shem, lived to reach at least 600 years old. Ham lived for at least 600 years, though the Bible doesn't say how old he was. Despite several ideas and investigations, nobody knows for sure where Ham was laid to rest. Some have suggested Mesopotamia, the homeland of the Sumerians, as the possible location of his burial, while others have suggested Ethiopia or possibly Nubia. The common assumption, however, is that Ethiopia or Sudan is where Ham's tomb is located in Africa. Some have even gone so far as to suggest that his last resting place might be in Egypt, a country whose history is shrouded in mystery due to the continuous unearthing of millennial-old tombs. More information regarding the latter years of Ham, as well as the events surrounding Noah's family and the lines of Ham, Shem, and Japheth, may be found in the Book of Jubilees. Canaan, Ham's youngest son, chose to reside in the land of Shem, now called Israel, and Ham was dissatisfied with his decision, according to an ancient Jewish text that was revered before and during the time of Christ. The other son of Ham, Canaan, was opposed to Canaan's plan to take those territories. Ham, Cush, Mizraim, and others did not approve of Canaan's choice to live in Shem's domain, since they thought the African regions belonged to Ham's lineage, as stated in the Book of Jubilees. In spite of his father and brother's disapproval, Canaan decided to stay in the land. According to the Book of Jubilees, Ham was the pioneer who rebuilt a city and territory following the flood. In memory of his loving wife, he chose the name Moltloch for the location. The cultural and historical background of these old works must be carefully considered while interpreting them. To prevent perpetuating false beliefs or unfairly associating curses with entire groups of people, it is vital to avoid misinterpretations that undermine the Bible's vast and nuanced narrative. Thanks for watching. As always, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.